Welcome to Caravan of GLAM Presents on KPQR LP Portland, Wild Planet Radio.
You know what time it is? It's Friday afternoon.
Friday!
And it is time for the Caravan of GLAM Presents on Wild Planet Radio 99.1 FM. You got me, Dawn Newton.
You got me, Jayla Rose.
You got Tiny Prancer in the house.
And we are here to entertain you for the next hour, so don't go anywhere.
We'll kill you if you do. Murder.
You're so scary.
Hey, this is Patrick from Eastside Strength and Performance. You are tuning in to the Caravan of GLAM Presents on KPQR 99.1 FM or streaming live on wildplanetradio.com.
She was one of 14 contestants to compete on Season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race. She was 46 years old at the time of filming, making her the oldest drag queen to compete in the competition thus far. She wittily refers to herself as the sacrificial lamb of her season. She is Tempest Dujour, and we had the opportunity to sit down and chat with this fan favorite.
Tempest Dujour, we know you from Season 7. You were referred to as the sacrificial lamb of the season.
I am, in fact, the sacrificial lamb of Season 7. There's no question. A big, meaty lamb, but I'm a lamb nonetheless. A seasoned lamb, a well-seasoned lamb.
Well, it's just so funny, like, researching.
But delicate like a lamb, don't get me wrong, sister. Emotionally, at least.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, yeah, when we researching for our interview and looking up and like what's latest with Tempest, and then these are the things that pop up. Of course, compliments of the internet. And
right.
It's like, wow, that's, I don't know. Do you like that label? It was just everybody was really outraged.
Well, I have to admit that I sort of came up with that label. So.
You have to brand yourself.
You got to control your own destiny, right? I can't leave it in the hands of amateurs. So that's the way I felt, and that's the way I put it in the universe. So
good for you. Put it out there and own it.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious to anyone with eyes or ears or, any other attuned sense that I should not have been the first to go on that season. So,
nope.
So what better way to put it than that, I guess.
Oh my gosh. How many auditions did you do before you got selected for RuPaul's
That
Drag
was my
Race?
third try.
And what?
And previously I had made, what they do is they cast sort of a top 20 and that's sort of their final pick. So they have backups. And in a previous season I'd made the top 20. So I was so close, and then the next season I heard nothing, and then finally Season 7 I was cast.
So when they don't select you, do they tell you, hey, we're looking for a little bit more of this, bring a little more of that? Do they encourage you to try out again, to audition again?
Are you real? Seriously?
They don't have time to encourage anyone.
No. No, they don't
Dawn
do that.
is a little innocent. So.
Dawn is
In
very
fact-
innocent.
Listen, I knew I was top 20, and I kept waiting to hear one way or the other, and I finally called, and I said, what's going on? Did I make it or not? And they're like, oh, no. Try again next time. Click.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like on some of those other reality shows, like American Idol, The Voice, they encourage people, oh, honey, you just need to season a little bit more and then come back. So I get that's where I'm coming from with that question.
No, they encouraged me. They did strongly encourage me to keep auditioning. And now I get why. Now I get the process of how they select, so I see where it makes sense. At the time, you don't know anything about the way things work, so you're sad, and you have to sort of pick yourself up by your bra straps again and give another shot. And this time was different only because I was auditioning as a big girl last time. I was considerably larger. I was like 160 pounds heavier. And in fact, the season I didn't make it, the big girl who beat me out was Latrice Royale. And I'm like, well, of course you're going to choose Latrice.
Oh, my gosh.
and Latrice and I are good friends, so it's like, I don't know that she knows that, but that was the fact. So I don't mind losing to Latrice.
Well, tell us a little bit about that, because I did read that you lost like 150 pounds, and that was after a car accident. Like what happened there?
Yeah, I had this really terrible car accident where this young kid was texting. Well, he changed his story about 3 times. First he said he fell asleep, then he said he was texting, then he said something else. We were on the freeway doing about 80 miles an hour, which is legal in Arizona where I live. And I guess it was an accident up ahead, so we were all slowing down for the accident. and this kid didn't slow down. So he hit us from behind and then sort of projected us under a semi that was next to us.
Wow.
So, and thank God I got the worst of it. My husband and 2 children were in the car as well. But all the impact sort of got taken on my side. So they left with bumps and bruises, but I left with a severed leg and many broken bones and things like that. So
wow.
Wow.
it was horrific. It was horrific, but it you know, it can either sort of literally kill you or emotionally kill you or make you stronger. And thank God that, you know, I was able to find the strong part of it. So.
Well, absolutely, because on accidents like that, you're absolutely right. It can, you know, send you definitely in one direction or the other because of, you know, the emotional, physical, the trauma, the what ifs and all that goes along with it. So, so the weight loss, how did that, obviously that was a catalyst. How has it been?
Well, I felt like, you know, at that point here, I've been given a second chance at life, obviously, because I was really, you know, the doctor told me, this is interesting, because the doctor said, you know, if you weren't such a big boy, you know, coach, if you weren't so fat, you probably wouldn't have survived the impact of that collision. So in a way, it was a blessing to be that big and survive the impact. But I knew I was unhappy, and as most heavy people know, it's sort of it's something you obsess about every day, your weight and your health, and not wanting to be that way. And I just thought, my God, here's my chance to sort of, you know, I did a lot of thinking about it. I was in the hospital for a month, and I couldn't walk for 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I had a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
And I thought, let's just make a change and let's figure out why it is that you eat so much. And everyone knows who is heavy that it's not an issue of just food; it's why you eat the food. So it was sort of digging deep and figuring out those things.
And how does that play into drag? Did you notice a difference there, like as far as maybe, you know, the more thinner drag queens as opposed to the fuller figured drag queens? Is there a difference there in how it's perceived or how you're treated?
Well, you know, one of the great things about the world of drag is that there is no prejudice to big girls that I've ever experienced, and they're embraced and treated as equal. And I think that's remarkable. I mean, it's one of the few places in the world I think you could actually feel that way. And then you step outside the club and you're that fat girl again, you know. But inside the club in drag, it's like a safe zone. You feel good about yourself. You're appreciated. You're tipped as well as everybody else if you're a good performer, and there isn't that prejudice. So it's kind of a wonderful space to be in, and a healthy space to be in for that time. But then again, there's reality outside of drag that you're still that big girl that the world thinks less of. You know?
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. I think that's
it's kind of amazing. It's little, you know, like in the African American community where thick big girls are celebrated, and it's like that in drag, and it's a great place to be for bigger girls.
Well, let's talk a little bit too about your personal life, because one thing that I was like, oh my gosh, you are a professor at the University of Arizona.
I am. I'm sitting in my office at the university right now talking to you.
Oh, ooh, get out your red pen and start correcting
Call me
those
Professor
papers.
Dujour today, girl. Let's not get it twisted. I earned this.
Well, that's just it. Is Dr. Dujour? I just School of Theater, Film, and Television. So
that's where I work.
Do your students know? I mean, obviously they must know about
sure.
Tempest.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing you can't hide when you're on an international television show. Yeah, I mean, even before Drag Race and stuff, there's, you know, students and faculty that would come to my shows and things, so it was no secret.
And
it was huge support when I got on the show. It was great.
Oh, I think that's amazing. And then a professional costume designer. You kind of specialize in Shakespearean? I
do a lot of Shakespeare. I do everything, but it just so happens in my career that I've done a lot of Shakespeare. So I just finished another Shakespeare. So.
Well, it's interesting that I was thinking, how come do we see Tempest ever in any type of Shakespearean type?
Well, that's because I got kicked off before the Shakespeare Challenge on my season, so. Or you would have, darling. Yeah. Can you believe it? Can you imagine? Like, first of all, I was cast as like a comedy, like acting queen. And the next 3 challenges after I was kicked off were acting comedy challenges. And so I'm like, really? Really? So, and a Shakespeare, I mean, the name Tempest comes from Shakespeare, so I was more than a little disappointed by that.
And Dujour.
But if you watch What You're Packing with Michelle Visage, the after show after someone gets kicked off, I do show a little bit of my Shakespeare outfit that I had intended to wear. So.
And where does Dujour come from?
Dujour, well, it's because I'm Southern by birth. I'm from North Carolina. And my people, as we say in the South, were very poor, like farmer people. And my dad's side was all from the county and the mountains where they filmed Deliverance, which I don't tell many people.
Banjos.
we're all like bald, cross-eyed, inbred, banjo playing, mountain folk. But that's my heritage, and so I thought, well, what would those people think is like a fancy French last name? And I think maybe the only French word they might know would be Dujour, because like soup du jour. So my husband actually came up with it. So, and it all made sense when you put it together, Tempest Dujour. So you can take it as a literal,
it just
like
rolls
storm
off
of the
tongue.
day, or
Yeah.
More with Tempest Dujour from Season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race when we return.
Hey everyone, it's JLo with the Caravan of GLAM Presents. Make sure that you stay connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wild Planet Radio. You get to hear all of our podcasts, musician interviews, LGBTQ news, updates, and much more on SoundCloud. Just file wildplanetradio.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Caravan of GLAM Presents on Wild Planet Radio 99.1 FM. I'm Justin Buckles in the studio with my co-hosts Jayla Rose and Dawn Newton. We've been talking to our special guest this week, the oldest competitor on RuPaul's Drag Race thus far, the one, the only Tempest Dujour.
So tell us about your relationship with Candy Ho. Someone said you're enemies with her, and I was like, really? What was that all about?
I'm sorry, Candy who?
Yeah, we're not
the
talking to
Puerto
Candy.
Rican whore. Yes. That one.
So you're best friends, in short.
Best friends.
Well,
like Jayla and I.
no, Candy and I are good friends now, and
Now.
I think she learned a valuable lesson about how to keep your big bitchy mouth shut on national television.
Yes, Professor
Look, I got
Dujour
nothing
showed
but
up.
support from that whole thing, and she got lots and lots of hate mail for that. So, so I think she tried to explain to me that, well, in Puerto Rico, we don't have like old girls. They're all young and pretty. And I said, that's such bullshit. That is such bullshit. Whatever, girl. Just keep talking.
So the
But
professor
we're
showed
actually.
up.
We're good friends now. In fact, we just messaged each other last night, and she's cute.
Well, and that's funny you mentioned that, because that was the other thing that comes up is like you were the oldest contestant ever to appear.
I was.
And the tallest. You're 6'6".
I am. I'm the tallest and oldest, and the smartest, no doubt.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Candy Ho got schooled. The professor showed up, right?
Well,
Ba-dum-bum.
I wish you guys could have heard, when we had to lip sync that day, Candy and I, one of the guest judges was Kathy Griffin, who's a comedian in her 50s. And she had some very pointed things to say to Candy Ho about the ageist stuff that they edited out, and so did Michelle Visage. But she got schooled.
So who was like your favorite celebrity guest judge?
I'm a huge Kathy Griffin fan, so interacting with Kathy was really cool. But I have to tell you, surprisingly, when I came back for the Conjoined Twins challenge in episode 8, Leanne Rimes was like super cool.
Wow.
And we weren't expecting that, because I'm like Team Glanville, if you watch The Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Right.
So I was expecting this kind of bitchy, self-serving, girl, but she was so cool. She was very, very cool.
Hey,
I don't know that I
Tempest.
have a favorite.
Ooh.
Yes, darling.
Hey, this is Justin. How are you?
Hi, Justin. I'm better now.
Well, thank you for chatting with us today.
Well, thanks.
I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then I'll hand you over to Jayla.
All right.
So we at the Caravan of GLAM Presents and the Caravan of GLAM touring production, we are very focused on the LGBTQ youth community. What advice?
Me too.
What advice would you give, someone who is just finding out about themselves, someone who is interested in doing drag but is afraid to take the plunge? What advice would you give?
Well, let me say first that one of the great blessings of being on Drag Race and especially because I was portrayed in a very favorable way, even though I wasn't there long. I guess people see me as sort of a mother hen in a way, because I get, still to this day, messages every day from kids all over the world who are struggling, or just thank me for being a role model, or whatever it is. And they ask for advice, and I mean, in a way, sometimes it feels like a burden because I don't want to say the wrong thing, you know. And I'm not a psychologist, but I love that there is an outlet for these kids. When I grew up, there was nothing. I had no one to talk to. There was no one I could write on the internet. You know, there was no Drag Race, and so it's been one of the great parts of Drag Race for me is interacting with these kids, and especially Mormon kids who are gay, because I grew up Mormon. And it's such an intense culture to grow up in, and kids contact me all the time who are struggling with that, you know, trying to be Mormon and trying to be gay. And I tell everybody the same thing, and that's basically the message I left on the mirror when I left. You know, you've got to figure out how to love yourself and live your truth. And if your truth is that you like boys and you're a boy, or you like girls and you're a girl, or you like both, then you've got to find a way to be happy with that, to understand that that's not wrong and it's not a sin. And it's tough when you're 16 and you're still living on your parents' roof. Sometimes you just have to be patient and wait, you know, till you can leave. And sometimes leaving is the only alternative. But you know, Lady Bunny, who's become like a cool friend of mine, said, you know, there's room for everybody. And she was referring to drag, but I think there's room for everybody in every case, especially drag. And so those kids who want to get into drag, I say there's room for everybody, but find your own voice. There's enough Beyoncés.
Yes,
there's enough,
there are.
You know, Gagas. And so I say find your own voice and do your own thing.
Do you find that there's
a very long answer, so I apologize.
Do you find that there's a lot of, or do you personally feel like there's a lot of pressure with the term role model?
No. I mean, I don't feel because I guess because I'm a dad and I'm an educator, so it's kind of what I do.
Right.
It feels sort of natural to me. My heart breaks, though. I'll be honest. It's tough sometimes when, you know, a 16-year-old kid is emailing you or messaging you saying, you know, I'm so unhappy. I don't, you know, want to live this way anymore. You know, what do you do? And I, you know, have all my numbers, my resources that I can refer them to, but most times I don't hear from them ever again. So I hope that they're happy, and I hope that they have found a way to survive. Sometimes it can be really tough.
That's pretty amazing that you are able to have that outlook and have that positive reinforcement for anybody that, you know, does reach out to you, that, you know, feels that need to just get something off their chest, or, you know, just feel like they can talk to somebody and be them, you know, their true self with. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Well, that's kind of you. I mean, it's you know, like I said, when I was growing up, I think it's natural for us people who grew up gay, or trans or bi or whatever it is, who are different, to feel like we're alone and no one understands and no one gets what we're going through. And I think what a difference it would have made in my younger years if just one person in my life had said, let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Or I suspect you feel this way, or just given me a chance to say things out loud, it would have meant the world to me. And so if I can be that for somebody, of course I'm going to do that.
I mean, do you feel like, because, obviously the world is ever changing, and, you know, especially in like the drag world, like, you know, there's, you know, classic drag, but now there's all these like new forms and new outlooks and, you know, venues for people to, you know, have their platform out. I mean, do you find that social media is more of like a hindrance for that? Or do you feel like it's a positive thing with how, you know, like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and everything like that for, you know, people to reach out to you? Because obviously, you know, for every 10 good comments, there could always be, you know, that one negative person that has, you know, their own opinion. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been really, really lucky. Some of the girls on my season have gotten horrible, just evil messages.
Yeah.
I think of, you know, Kennedy and Jasmine especially for some reason got targeted on our season, and I mean, you wouldn't believe the things that people wrote to them that were just horrible. I mean, you know, I can't even repeat them, but like 1962 Alabama racist horrible, like really, really bad. and I feel really lucky that I didn't really get that. And so I've gotten very little negative, comments, knock on whatever.
Yeah.
But that's part of the game. I mean, I feel like if you're going to put yourself out there, you have to understand that that's the game you're playing. It's like being on Drag Race.
Yeah.
Sure, it sucks to be off first, and no one wanted to be off first, but I knew what I was signing up for.
Yeah.
I knew that was a possibility. So you got to be willing to play the whole game, not just the parts you like.
Exactly. And so, I mean, just like kind of like wrapping it up, because I mean, we've touched base quite a bit on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
What's next for you? I mean, I know that you teaching and everything like that, but like, what's next for Tempest?
Well, I love having a balance in my life. It's great because I get to be a professor, and then at night I get to be a whole different character, and then during the days when I'm not doing that, I get to be dad. It's a cool thing for me. But for Tempest, I mean, I just keep doing my thing. I mean, I feel lucky that, I was first to go on my season, but frankly, I'm working more than a lot of the girls on my season, and I feel really grateful for that. And I think there's different kinds of drag. Of course, there's girls that stand and look pretty who can't perform, and there's girls like me who've paid their dues and worked hard, and we're entertainers, and that's what we live to do. And so I just keep doing that. I'm desperate to put out more sort of video content. I don't know if you guys saw my Tempest Dujour's Very Bad Day video. That was my sort of my answer to being eliminated at first. But I got a huge response for that, and people keep asking for more. So I'm hoping to do more video stuff. I keep doing stuff for World of Wonder. I was on Gay for Play last night with RuPaul, if you guys saw the show. Mm-hmm. So I want to keep myself relevant and keep myself out there, and it's my passion. It's what I love to do, and I don't have any big groundbreaking stories to tell at this point, but I'm just going to keep plugging along as long as people want to see me.
Oh, of course we want to see you, Tempest. Where do we go for people that want to see you? Where do we follow you?
Well, I'm on all the the things. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter.
Things.
I'm on Instagram. I've just started Snapchat. I Periscope every now and then before shows and during shows. I have a monthly show that I do in Arizona, if anyone's in Arizona, called Retro Game Show Night, that's been running for 5 years, where we do sort of R-rated adult version of TV's best game shows. And I tour. I still go out and I do a lot of Southern California appearances because I'm close to California. I have never yet made it to the Pacific Northwest. I don't know what's wrong with those club promoters. So Portland and Seattle are on my list, but have never made it there yet. So I guess I don't know. I don't know why, but we'll see.
We'll work on it. Yeah.
Get on that for me if you would. She works cheap. She works hard, but she works cheap. But I'm out there doing my thing.
Well, we really appreciate the time we've had to talk with you. It's been a pleasure for us.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
I really appreciate it. You guys are great. You're funny and you're cute, and I like that you like to talk about real issues too.
Yes.
We try.
Yes.
We are real.
That's good.
We are open books.
Jayla and I have it dialed in. Justin's still a work in process.
Yeah, I get distracted. I get distracted by shiny things. So.
Well, use sunscreen and stay hydrated down there.
Yes.
I will do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Hey, this is Daniel Monroe, Psychic Medium, and you're listening to Caravan of GLAM presents on Wild Planet Radio, streaming at wildplanetradio.com.
If you could be a Disney princess, Justin, which one would you be?
I don't know any of them.
Oh, please.
I've never watched well, I have watched Disney movies, but
And there's always a princess in there somewhere.
who's the richest?
Who's the richest? No, he's not narcissistic or self-absorbed.
No.
We stand corrected, Jayla.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be a princess, I want the most money.
Okay, I have a question.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What's a gold star gay?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
Okay, a gold star gay is somebody that has never been in any way, shape, or form with a female.
Oh, that's not me.
Intimately.
So does that just mean men?
Well, I mean, like, or
that apply
like
to a lesbian too?
Yeah. I mean, gold star gay. I mean, gay is both genders.
So whichever.
So, yeah.
You've never been with the opposite sex, right?
Who, me or?
No, that's what it means.
I'm getting really confused. Yes, meaning that you have never been with the opposite sex.
Are you a gold star gay, Justin?
Nope. Nope.
And Jayla?
I'm not gay.
Oh, God. So there, that's your moment of educating Dawn.
Straightening Dawn out.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome back, everyone. This is a Caravan of Glam Presents on Wild Planet Radio, streaming at wildplanetradio.com. It is our distinct honor and pleasure. I mean, honestly, to have Darcelle sitting across from the three of us this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
It is just...
Thank you. I'm excited.
It is just, I mean, yeah.
You know, I know what you're excited about, dark skin and hair.
Olive skin and
So
black
don't
hair.
start on me. Well, here we go.
Oh, you're getting called out already.
All right. Right, guys.
I mean, people call you the icon, a Portland icon, the Portland mascot. Do you
I don't
like
know
that?
what icon. I don't have many people kneeling down in front of me. And that would be an icon.
Well, you should make them, though.
Well, I've made a few. Yes, I understand. I don't like to be called an institution. That's where they lock people up. So I guess I'll take mascot.
What about legend?
Legend is, you know, you live long enough, you have to be a legend. You know, when you're still breathing and walking.
It's amazing. 75 years or so years in the Portland culture and nightlife. You've seen a lot.
That means I was 10 years old when I started messing around.
Me too.
I reached puberty quick.
But in the years, I mean, you've seen a lot happen, Darcelle.
Well, a lot of changes, and 80% of the changes are excellent and good and wonderful. The thing that's happening all over the United States now is the same-sex marriage thing. It just makes me cry. I love it.
Well, and
I won't be getting married because Roxy and I have been together for over 40 years. I don't think we have to have it legalized. But the thing is that our friends can. And from now on, and it'll only get more. It'll only get bigger and better with more states.
Well, and with these changes, you've been instrumental in a lot of the activity here in Portland. And Justin had mentioned that.
Well, when we first started in '67, we didn't dress and walk outside. We dressed at the club and worked at the club. And that was it. We were a lesbian bar when we first started because none of my gay friends would come across Burnside because Burnside, we had tramps and alcoholics. Now we have homeless. But they wouldn't come across because they were afraid to. So in order to keep my doors open, I hired a really, really wonderful woman named Papa Scott, and she bartended all over town, and she wasn't a lesbian. She was a dyke. She told me. She said, don't worry about lesbian. I'm a dyke. And I dress in men's clothes all the time, and she did. And she was like a mother. Because I had never been in the booze business before. I had a Portland's first coffee house. I had an after-hours jazz place. I had an ice cream parlor. All these things happened before I got into 208 Northwest 3rd, Darcelle 15 shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Where did the name Darcelle come from?
Denise Darcelle. Roxy worked in Vegas with a B picture star from France. Her name was Denise Darcelle. And he said, they were calling me anything in the world. It was Madame Demas was the name of our bar then. And they were calling me everything, Madame Demas or, whoever. And so they said, if you're going to keep this up, you have to have a name. So Mary wouldn't work, or Alice.
Have you ever thought about changing it? Well, I mean, some people.
Is there dead silence in this room?
Yeah.
Some performers will change their name multiple times.
No, there's no reason in this world to change my name. It took me too much money, too much balls, and all kinds of things to make this happen.
So where did the 15, Darcelle 15, what's that piece?
We go back to Denise Darcelle. I got to meet her in Seattle. she was here with the Follies, musical, and so we sat and talked, and it was really nice to meet her. And I was the 15th Empress of Portland, Imperial Sovereign Rose Court, and that was way back. I was the second elected Empress.
Well, and it's so interesting too because
73.
1967 is when you started the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, during that time, what were some of the challenges? Because things were much different in 67 than they are today.
Well, of course, so many doors are open in so many directions.
Absolutely.
The movies, the plays, the musicals, all the talk shows have somebody queer on them, you know. And so that part of it has changed. What the difficulty was is driver by, if you're on the street, and
Safety.
verbal. One night we were at Embers. Embers was on Broadway then, near Broadway, where Nordstrom's is now. And we were driving home, Southwest Portland, and a car came by full of young people with 2x4s. And all of a sudden, the 2x4 came out the window, was going to smash the car. We drove into the police station, right down underneath, and that was all I could think of to do is get out of the way.
Wait, were you in Face then?
Yes, they could see that, yeah. We were doing a function there. And
when did you decide to venture out in Face? What year?
Well, I wouldn't know the year. I would know that shortly after we were doing our thing for just the people that were in the bar, the ladies and gentlemen that came to the bar. A friend of ours, now a friend, wrote an article in Willamette Week and outed us. He said, "This is the best kept secret in town." And at that time, Roxy and myself and Tina Sandell, the three of us were on stage.
Wow.
With guests every now and then. And the doors open.
Yeah,
and
once it's open.
And the doors are open, and there's this history. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, and drug dealers in the neighborhood kept people from coming from Southeast Portland. They'd call and say, well, I don't want to go. No, okay, so, but what made it happen was her, and then some of the movies that came out made it okay. I guess it's okay to see a man in a dress. We never go anywhere. To this day, I don't go anywhere that I'm not invited. I mean, I don't just dress up and say, well, I'm going to do a bar tour. That might be a reflection of those times, you know, not taking the step in that direction. Times have changed, but maybe they haven't. There's still some, you know, we don't live in the South, do we?
No, there's still some things that go.
You still got to be cautious every day.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. You have to be aware of where you are and what's going on.
And when you look at the years since 1967 to where we are today, did you think we'd be where we are today? Did you see this coming? Did you hope this is it?
Not at all. I had no idea. No one could ever know that it would come this far because we were always the outcasts of the world, you know, and so who knew that it would get this way? That's why it tears me up when I think about it.
The minute you mention it, you get emotional. And we've got a documentary coming up too.
Yeah, it's OPP made a documentary about Darcelle and the company. And did you see the trailer?
I did see the trailer.
It's on. It's wonderful.
Oh, I think it's amazing when people they're that interested in you. I mean, when you hear about how excited we were to have you come on, and we're just like, can't wait till Darcelle comes in. When people get that excited, I mean, that's the impact that you have on people. I mean, you've been called a group therapist, the mascot to the city, the oldest performing drag queen.
That's the key. That is totally the key. I said, live long enough, you're going to find a spot. And no, it's really somebody in Canada is a female impersonator who is 84, and she's in the Guinness Book of Records. Well, all of my material, my friends put all my material in, so we're just waiting to hear whether I'm going to be in or not.
Oh, we've seen the comments.
I was going to ask about that because
people are protesting that.
People were up in arms about it.
Oh, yeah, they were upset.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So you're just so...
And besides, I don't believe she's working, and I'm still on stage.
You're working harder than most
Those
people. Yeah.
Did you just say me?
If it wasn't me, it was going to be Justin.
No, it's exciting. The things that happen are still exciting to me. I mean, I've never ever take anything that I've done for granted. I mean, okay, we're going to have an audience tonight and they're going to love me. No. I have to work to make them.
What is your advice to the LGBTQ youth today?
Yeah, the youth.
The youth, for sure.
Find a direction and stay in it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Find your direction.
Stay true to who you are, because your path wasn't an easy one.
No.
At all.
No, my family all, when they found out I was gay, it was all over,
How's your relationship today with your family?
My aunts and uncles and those things. My immediate family, we just had Mother's Day at my house, and we were all there. My granddaughters, my daughter, her husband, my son, his wife, and my wife.
Congratulations.
And Roxy.
That's amazing.
We travel together. We do all kinds of things together.
That is
great.
awesome. So what is next for Darcelle? What haven't you done yet that you still want to do? Uh-oh.
Bungee jump and drag.
Wow. No, that's very funny when you said this, because Channel 6 a few years ago, when they first got their helicopter to do the news, they called and wanted to fly me over my where I grew up. And I thought, okay,
Which
fine.
is Linton, right?
Yes, but right now, you're looking at Darcelle right now without the clothes on. There's no way I would get into a damn helicopter. No way. I mean, it scares. Just thinking about it, I got a cold chill. But they asked Darcelle, so I dressed up, got in the helicopter with feathers in the whole room, and there's a plastic floor. You can see through. No, I wouldn't do it. But Darcelle did it.
That's awesome.
What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you on stage?
The most embarrassing and funniest thing in the world, and I have to tell you this, I tell everybody, as I was working my heart out on the runway, doing all my little stories and carrying on, and there are about 8 people on the runway, and they're all going, for you in the audience, I'm looking straight ahead with blank look and my hands folded. Okay, that was
like me right now too.
You're the worst, because this is really bad. When you have your arms crossed together, I'd rather see your hands folded or up your wherever. Yes. So here we are. I'm working and nothing. And I went over and I stomped my foot and said, "Are you hard of hearing?" And they nodded their head yes. I could have crawled under the stage.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So I slowed up my conversations and aimed it to them, and they had it. And they do this. They wiggle their hands when they're applauding.
Yeah.
It was wonderful afterwards. But I've got to get off the stage. I mean, I felt really bad.
Oh my gosh.
But you corrected it, so.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You saved it.
So,
yeah.
Darcelle, we're running out of time with you, but we want to have you back. We absolutely love and adore you.
You're running out of time with me?
We are, because someone's going to come in and kick us out of the studio.
Radio is radio, isn't it?
It is.
I kind of like radio because you don't have to dress up.
Jayla's a prime example.
Yeah, I agree.
How many shows a week are you performing?
We do 6 shows a week.
And you're in every show?
Yes.
How do you keep it going? I mean, how does that's a lot of work.
My audience to keep me going.
Your inspiration?
And we're in our 49th year.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
September will be our anniversary.
What do you owe the success to?
The people.
Sticking to what you want to do. Stick with it, whether it's right or wrong. I think I said that a minute ago.
Yeah.
Don't give up. If you really, really want to. I love what I do. I've in 49 years, I've never, ever sat at home and said, before it's time to go to work, I really don't want to work tonight. Never.
How has drag changed in the years since you started to where it is today? Like with RuPaul's Drag Race and what you're seeing?
I've never seen the drag race because we work the same times. So, I don't work, but I have one night off, and it's Monday night. I'm not going to watch a drag show. RuPaul or not.
I don't blame you.
So we, how has it changed? It's accepted by everyone now. And even the I don't think there is a redneck. I don't think there's a redneck left in the world, at least our part of the world. I've worked at some bars in Medford that nobody would even think you'd ever walk in the door, and it was wonderful fun and had a great time. Women drag their husbands in by the nape of the back of the neck, and they sit there, but you can tell when they come in, no, they're so scared. Someone's going to touch me. By the time the show's over, they're having a wonderful time. So, they see that we're not just a queer show, that we're all having fun, and leave your problems outside.
Sometimes the husbands have more fun than the wives.
Yes, I noticed that. Thank God.
Is there anything that any regrets or anything that you would have done differently?
I wish I'd have started earlier. I was 37 when I started.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember your first drag show?
I do.
Tell us about that.
It wasn't a show. I went to the Hoyt Hotel. Roxy was working there then. I went to the Hoyt Hotel, and he got me ready to go. He borrowed a costume from which was, he almost got fired for it, from the costume room at the Hoyt, and made me up. It took 2 hours to put makeup on me. And I walked in the place, and I'd walk by the mirrors all the way around. I go, oh, what the hell is going on here? Uncomfortable. Fell out of place. But it's my first time.
And you still did it.
Well, yeah, because I wanted to go to the party.
I think that's amazing.
Who doesn't want to go to a party?
Well, after that, it was like our own business, and it was like going to be fun with, and people. It cost 50 cents to get into our club then, and we gave you 2 tickets for beer. So beer was 25 cents a glass.
Wow.
50 cents to get into
it? No, they had 2 beers then, see.
Oh, Lord.
Well, Darcelle, we absolutely love having you on.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
we
come
really
back.
appreciate it. Yes, no, we will bring you back for sure.
Now I know.
If you'll have us.
I'll have you. It's fun. Of course, this one I love. So we have.
Somebody does. So somebody needs to.
She was in some sort of a horrible fly fishing accident.
Got her in the nose.
Oh my God. This is the Caravan of Glam Presents. We'll be right back.
Gosh, thank you.
Yo, that wraps another week on the Caravan of Glam Presents on wildplanetradio.com, 99.1 FM. Tune in next week. Oh. We will be back.
And hopefully he will be too.
Yes. All right. It's me, Tiny Prancer.
Dawn Newton.
And Jayla Rose.
See ya.
Bye. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Make good choices.
Never.